I say to her once we get in the car?
No problem, Red. What you need is my special 5-point plan.
Come on, Damone, I need real help here.
What do you mean? Hey, men have died trying to obtain this valuable information, you know. But I'll give it to you for free.
Okay, what's your 5-point plan?
All right. Now pay attention. First of all, Rat, you never let on how much you like a girl. Oh, Debbie. Hi. 2, you always call the shots. Kiss me. You won't regret it. Now 3, act like wherever you are, that's the place to be. Isn't this great? 4, when ordering food, you find out what she wants, then order for the both of you. It's a classy move. Now, the lady will have the linguine and white clam sauce and a Coke with no ice. And 5, now this is most important, Rat. Comes down to making out. Whenever possible, put on side 1 of Led Zeppelin IV.
You're the head on the spear, you're the nail on the cross, you're the fly in my beer, you're the key that got lost, you're the letter from Jesus on the bathroom wall, your mother superior with only a bra. You're the same, you're the same, you're the same kind of man as me. You're the same kind of man as me. I'm the hat on the bed, I'm the coffee instead. I'm the fish that could bait, I'm the detective of late. I'm the blood on the floor, the thunder and the roar. I'm the boat that won't sink, I just won't sleep a wink. You're the same kind of man as me. 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 No good, you say? Well, that's good enough for me.
That's good enough for me. Right. Yeah, welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus with Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini. That's me. And sitting next to me, we've got Miss Katie Simone. So what's going on there, Miss Katie? Ooh, look at you. Ooh, foxy. You're looking foxy tonight. No. Oh, we're gonna make like a thing out of that. We're gonna do a whole thing. We have some toasting to do tonight.
Oh, we're toasting. Okay.
We're gonna toast tonight. so we're gonna be doing all that. It's gonna be good. It's all good. So Katie, tell the kids at home the good word. What's the good word? What's the good word, Katie?
I have the answer here. The bird is the word.
Oh, see? Now I should have had that. If I'd have known you were going to do it.
I'm unpredictable. What can I say?
I love it. You know who did it?
The Trash Man.
I know. And that's the original. It's the greatest. I love that
and
song.
It's also probably the best episode of Family Guy ever.
Everybody, haven't you heard about the word? Bird is the word.
Heat on now.
You are listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. Every Tuesday is a new interview. Every Thursday is a new interview. And Saturday, it's this. This is what happens on Saturdays. Okay, all the mania and everything builds up all week, and then we just kind of got to let it loose. I'd like to thank my sponsor real quick. Positively Pittsburgh Okay.
Sorry.
Walk like a man. See? You thought I didn't know it. Pittsburgh's first internet radio TV network and online community. So that's really what it is. PPLmag.com for short. You can watch videos and get all kind of great information there. There's coupons and articles to find businesses. There's everything from cardiology to how to write a book to rock and roll. Okay, you can even start your own magazine page, like we did, and like a couple of crazy people, and put up your own audio and video, and entertain the crap out of everybody. There's about 6 million. There's about 1 million unique visitors every month, so you definitely want to check it out. They haven't made it to 6 million yet, but for some reason I was thinking of the $6 million man. So I don't know. You're too young to know that. But anyways, so you guys listen to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, and tonight we're going to be discussing. This. This is one of my favorite songs to perform with Katie in Strangelove. This is always a crowd pleaser. So we're going to be talking about Led Zeppelin IV and giving you some little known some facts about the record, and just some of our own personal sort of ruminations on it. So yeah, that's what's probably going to be happening today rather. Now I want to make sure they get the correct music going, because we have some cool Loudini artists this week. We've got Gene the Werewolf, Pittsburgh's own Gene the Werewolf. We've got Norwood and Pittsburgh's own Rachel B. So we're like, there's a big shout out to the Berg. Do you know Rachel B?
Not personally, but I have heard of her.
Okay, so I'm gonna play a track for you called "Shame on Me" from her. But let's just jump right in. One of my favorite Pittsburgh bands, and I mean one of my absolute favorite Pittsburgh bands, is Gene the Werewolf, and they got a new record out called "The Loner." This is the title track, "The Loner," Gene the Werewolf on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
You know I left her the other day in frustration, and I told her that she just don't understand. Now she's moving on to reach her destination, to give her cheating heart to another man. Well, she told me she would travel across the nation, looking for that love I can't provide. You know, I hope she finds out someone to take her invitation 'cause I never lay my love down on the line. And I just can't give no reason, 'cause I guess I don't know why. But I'm sure I'll be this way till the day I die.
All right. Quick ending there that catches up on you. That is Gene the Werewolf, Pittsburgh's own Gene the Werewolf. You can go to genethewerewolf.squarespace.com to see everything that they have going on. A brand new record is called Loner. It is a bad mofo. I'm telling you, I loved their last record. It just, I was telling Katie on their last record from, 2011 or something. It was their first record. Anyways, they did a great remake of Thriller by Michael Jackson. Yeah, like it's a good rock and roll version of it. Very cool. You guys listen to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. So let's get into it. Let's talk about this mofo. Right? Speaking of badass mofos. I mean, let's just, before we do anything else, let's just tell everybody what songs are on here. Black Dog, okay, which we're listening to. Rock and Roll, The Battle of Evermore, Stairway to Freaking Heaven, Misty Mountain Hop, Four Sticks Gang, California. Is that like California University in California, PA? Going to California, and When the Levee Breaks. Now, probably every one of those songs are like majorly recognizable. Four Sticks is probably the least well known out of that lineup of 8 songs.
That's right.
But it's still a great song too. Mm-hmm. There's really like nothing on. There's no filler. This is really like there is no filler. We're listening to a remastered. Yeah, I said master. A remastered version that came out in 2014. Now that's not re-recorded or remixed. They just, give it the sort of touch to make it sound better when it streams on the internet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's a great record. Is there something? I think Katie's got some thoughts on this album that she wants to maybe share with you.
You'll have to pull them up because I tried to, and
you couldn't get them.
I couldn't get it.
Okay.
No.
All right, that's all right. That's all right. We got a couple different ones. The 10 Things You Didn't Know About Led Zeppelin IV. This is from UltimateClassicRock.com. But they're basing this off of the book by George Case called Led Zeppelin FAQ. All that's left to know about the greatest hard rock band of all time.
All time.
They had good reason for not including their name or faces on the cover. The cover wasn't meant to antagonize the record company, said Jimmy Page to a reporter. It was designed as our response to the music critics who maintained that the success of their first 3 albums was driven by hype and not talent. So we stripped everything away and let the music do the talking. And that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, because that's what it was really all about. If you listen to the beginning of Black Dog, you hear this kind of like thing going on at the beginning before the song actually starts. So Page did like a lot of overdubbing. So when you got 3 separate tracks of guitars being played together, they have to get synced. So this is the sound of the tape rolling. Okay, so they're putting everything together, and that's kind of what you're hearing. Jimmy Page said he thought it sounded like the massing of Guitar Army, so they left it on there. Robert Plant is the only one moving at normal speed on When the Levee Breaks. Now, yes, they recorded this at Headley Grange, okay, and they John Bonham is playing like in the stairwell or something, or it's like 3 flights of stairs or whatever, and they mic'd all that, and there's this great reverb, and everything's drenched in reverb. But what they did, what a lot of people don't realize, is they actually slowed it down, and that's why it sounds like a freaking an army of orcs coming over the mountain to kill you.
Oh, yeah.
You want to jump in with something?
Let's take a look here. Well, we talked about it. Least popular song on the album would probably be Four Sticks. I mean, it's kind of like if you take that song out, it's kind of like Led Zeppelin's greatest hits. Besides Four Sticks, but a great tune nonetheless. What do we have? Oh, the album was recorded in several different places. When discussing the recording of Zeppelin IV, the reportedly haunted house known as Headley Grange comes up, but big parts of the record were recorded at places like Island Studios and Sunset Sound. Headley Grange is the one that gets known because it's a spooky house and it's really cool. That's where When the Levee Breaks was recorded in that echoey stairwell. But they did use a lot of other studios too. Headley just wasn't professional enough. They had Ronnie Lane's mobile studio outside, but Jimmy Page said that they had to go to a real studio to do what they were needing to do. Ronnie Lane from the Faces.
Yes, the great Ronnie Lane, rest in peace. The band realized that they needed to start crediting their lyrical inspirations.
Even 40-some years later.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
They take a lot of grief from blues fans for heavily relying on lyrics from other artists of their early work, and it seems a degree of borrowing is still being realized. One thing I didn't mention in the book, says Case, is I heard recently was listening to Count Basie. He has a song called Going to Chicago. Sorry that I can't take you. So obviously Plant was getting into that end of on the end of the when the levee breaks. So all the lyrics were taken from Memphis Mini, except for that little bit by Count Basie at the end. By that point, by Led Zeppelin IV, I think they knew it was too obvious that they couldn't take someone else's song and not give credit for it, so they snuck her name in at the end. Oh, my goodness. You want to talk about this? Because this is always a kind of fun thing.
Okay, so, contrary to rumors, there are no backwards messages on Stairway to Heaven. Wait a minute. Sorry, I had to pause for Bonzo, out of respect. But yep, no...
That's just, isn't that just like so recognizable? Like,
oh
even
God.
if you don't play drums, you see people like
Yeah.
drumming that, air drumming that, whenever that comes on. That's like how iconic this record is. It's just amazing.
John effing Bonham, come on.
I know. But go ahead and hit that up again about the rumors.
So Stairway. Yeah, no backwards messages on it. Sounds cool. It's a great legend. But that's just something that's just been thrown at it from long after the record was done. It wasn't until the 80s, after Zeppelin broke up, that these ideas started getting air in public. It had to do with the religious backlash that happened in those days. People were reading satanic messages into Dungeons and Dragons. This was just one more target for them. The band did use backward sounds for the aural effect, but they weren't trying to put any messages on there. Yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, like, you read back into, like, the early to mid-'80s, man, when metal was kind of coming through, people were hearing subliminal messages in Ozzy Osbourne's music and Twisted Sister,
there's the famous Judas Priest thing where the kids shot themselves, saying that, they were hearing, do it.
Yeah.
Well, do what?
Do what? Exactly. Exactly.
Just insanity. There's another Stairway to Heaven.
They weren't the first to name a song Stairway. I didn't know that. I guess they were beaten to that title, if not by others before him, by none other than Neil Sedaka. Well, there you go.
I love my little calendar girl. Okay.
He included his own song of that same name on his 1960 album. Neil Sedaka sings Little Devil in his other hits, taking it all the way to number 9 on the charts.
Wow, so it was like a hit song. It went to number 9. There could have been more songs on Led Zeppelin IV. Led Zeppelin had a habit of holding on to material until they deemed it ready for years. Many of the songs from 75's physical... Yeah, I heard Jimmy Page. There's a great... really in-depth interview with him. It's very long but they're playing the songs, and he gives a lot of background information. But he talks about some of the songs from Physical Graffiti were actually went back to like Led Zeppelin III. But Boogie with Stu from Physical Graffiti originally came from Led Zeppelin IV sessions, as did Black Country Woman. So that they did that. They, you know, and it just goes to show you what, like, you know, we talked about this on previous shows where we discussed albums where, you know, the truly great albums have truly great music and nothing more. You know what I mean? They're not like, you know, they don't make you know, it's not like, well, you know, it's only 8 songs and people are going to feel ripped off. If you give people 8 like songs like these 8 freaking songs, nobody's going to complain.
No.
Do you want to talk about the symbols?
Yeah, so this is interesting. Everybody seems to, especially the Zoso symbol, Jimmy Page insisted that was actually not like a word or anything, but they were put together pretty hastily. People have read so much into them over the years. When you get down to it, it sounds like John Paul Jones and John Bonham just said, oh, we'll pick these, you know, sure, whatever. They weren't that interested. Robert Plant picked the feather in the circle from some mystical account of some lost civilization that probably never existed. It was one of those hippie things that they thought was out there. Page's Zoso goes all the way back to the Renaissance, but really it's basically just a representation of Capricorn from a document dating back to the 1500s. In those days, the way people drew astrological symbols was a lot more elaborate than just scales or fish, but it does derive from a symbol for Saturn or for Capricorn. It's nothing satanic or anything like that. So
there's a few things you didn't know about that album. You know, and there's another great article on Super Hype blog about the marketing genius of Led Zeppelin IV. And I'm not going to go into this whole thing, but you know, when they did this 4th album, you know, a cover consisting solely of a dreary photo of an old man hunched over with sticks stacked on his back. No title. Now, you guys don't realize, when you buy the CD now, you know, you go to the store, they've got the little taped on thing that says Led Zeppelin, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But when people pick this up in the record store, it said nothing. It's just this picture. Okay? I mean, it really kind of like, I mean, nobody would, I mean, let's see. Even the White Album says the Beatles on it.
Right.
Okay? So, I mean, this is really kind of like, really out there. They did like a lot of. It really took a lot of balls to do something like this. But they were, as we said before, trying to get away from this idea that they were just a bunch of hype, right, and you know, just some, you know, good-looking guys, you know, putting out rock and roll. Also, after they were compared a lot to Black Sabbath before this album. But when this album came out. That sounds funny to us, doesn't it? Because to us, Sabbath and Zeppelin don't really sound that much alike. But people compared them, but after this record, that completely went away.
Absolutely.
To appreciate the impact of Led Zeppelin IV, I think it's helpful to understand the album's historical context. As many rock historians have reported, Led Zeppelin was at a crossroads when it released the album, and that would help make Led Zeppelin one of the biggest bands on the planet. On the one hand, the band had recently been voted best group in the annual Readers' Poll of Melody Maker, ending the Beatles' 8-year run, and as live shows had gained massive following. But on the other hand, the band's loud, sexually charged music and its brash public image earned plenty of scorn among critics, okay, such as Lester Bangs. Lester never really liked that. Lester likes the Velvet Underground, I think.
Yeah.
You know, and bands like that. But Led Zeppelin III was sort of, you know, it was criticized for having uninspiring material, and Robert Plant's vocals as some cannibal chorus wailing in the infernal light of a savage fertility rite was I believe the quote. But even worse, Led Zeppelin III, although number 1 album, had been considered a commercial disappointment compared to the success of the other records, possibly because they did not know how to react to the mellow folk songs of Led Zeppelin III, like Gallows Pole and Tangerine, in contrast to the hard rocking previous records. So they sort of like retreated from this whole thing, this whole sort of like, more big rock stars, or, big sex symbols. And they really concentrated on making great music. And it just kind of goes to show you what can happen when you get guys who are really talented sitting down and making great albums. I'm not sure how many of you have the vinyl, but when you open up the front and the back, it makes one picture.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to see, and we'll put this up in the show notes as well to see this. You see the cover with the old man with the sticks on the back. When you fold the whole thing open, you realize it's like a house or something that's half torn down, and you can see like a modern apartment building on the other side. It's really, it's just very kind of captivating kind of image.
That just goes to show, why vinyl is so important in the visual aspect, because I spun this record the other night after I got home from my gig, and I just opened it up. I'm like, far out, man.
Yeah, heavy duty stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. So there's some stuff. So you guys can read more about this. I think we've kind of like got into this pretty well. But go to superhypeblog.com and just type in the marketing genius of Led Zeppelin IV, and you guys will get some great info. David Deal wrote a really great blog post on it, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. So anyways, we're going to play another Loudini artist here in a second, but first I just want to say, it makes me wonder.
There's a feeling I get.
Okay, the mighty Led Zeppelin IV. I'm not even going to say if you don't own it, go buy it, because anybody in their rightful mind who listens to the show should own that record, okay? Okay.
Should be issued at birth.
You listen to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. I recently met Chris Norwood. He's a great dude. He's also in another band that we've played on here called the Manimals. He's a Manhattan guy. This is from his album Notes to My Blood. Randolph Carter Rides Again, Norwood, on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
Argued plot in the hot South Ferry sun, and the garbage trucks on Water Street tilted all their filth away. You cut your hair in a fit of frantic grief, but you muttered soft and slow, don't worry, it'll all grow back someday. My jawline swept the floor, I worried about my health. Feeling fine before, until I realized I'd been screaming at myself. Well, honestly, I can't say how the tide turned the other way. I'm staring out my back door, wondering how the sky turned from blue to gray. My tongue lays flat, my lips burst red, and thoughts of you run water through my weary salts. But every winking night I throw the ether's way gets muddled by the foggy brine that's clogging all my cracks and faults. Tan lines kiss the sky, dreams confront the day. Eyes burn hot and dry, foolish pride throws its weight into the fray. Am I wasted? Can I lean on these fibrous crackling nerves beneath my skin? Keep it simple, keep it clean. Watch the memories from your back so you can stand another day. So if by chance my breathing breaks the dawn and the river sky runs black, while all the phantoms hide their teeth till noon, I'll point my battered nose toward the briar's edge and hum a few more bars of some old dirge that I learned far too soon. Taste of heliotrope, a wistful touch of breeze, deconstruct the scope as the sun-drenched soil shoots a shock straight through my knees. Well, honestly, I can't say how the tide turned the other way. I'm staring at my back door, wondering how the sky turned from blue to gray.
Okay, that is Norwood, Chris Norwood. Let me go ahead and give Chris a plug there. Cool dude. We had a good talk. Norwood, NORWOOD.band. Norwood.band.
That's a thing now. .band.
That's a thing now.
That's pretty rad.
Rad. What grade?
Gnarly. I mean, we started. We started
with my Valley Girl.
No, we started the podcast off with Mike Damone's 5-point plan, so I felt that gnarly was only appropriate.
I got you. Did you want to tell us something about?
Jen's guys know that Robert Plant wrote "Going to California" about Joni Mitchell. At least that's what MentalFloss.com says. Apparently, he was in love with Joni Mitchell.
Aww.
How could you not be, though? I mean, she's Joni Mitchell.
Right.
How was Robert Plant? I'd be in love with Joni Mitchell. But yeah, there you go.
And
the more you know.
And then later on, it was Alison Krauss.
Yeah.
Patty Griffin. Patty Griffin. That's how I think I've talked about that. I saw that show with Patty Griffin and Buddy Miller. Buddy Miller. Mm-hmm. And he was so they were so good, and he was so gracious. Like when Patty Griffin sang, I think she sang "Rain" or one of her songs. He actually stepped back and sang backup for her.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's just to show you what a great guy.
Do you think he has a type?
I don't know, man. Well, all I could tell you was I was like 5 rows, maybe 3 rows back, and I all I kept was like, that's the guy that sang "Stairway to Heaven." That's all I was going through. I was so blown away. And we're going to have a toast. Here's to Led Zeppelin IV,
yes.
One of the greatest rock masterpieces of all time. Cheers. That's some good stuff. Okay, you're listening to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. And I like it. Let's talk about what happened this day. I don't really care if they're coming, right?
I don't care what they do.
Yeah, as long as it's Led Zeppelin, right?
Right.
Oh my! That's September 3rd, 2016 edition of Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. So let's talk about what's happened on September 3rd in rock and roll. And Katie, why don't you just kind of say something awesome? Jump in with one of these things. So there's a whole bunch of cool ones.
Oh man, well that little band, the Beatles, they do all kinds of stuff, man, every single day. What do we have here? In 1968, this is pretty cool. After a 2-week absence, Ringo Starr rejoined the Beatles. Upon Ringo's return to the studio, he found his drum kit was covered with flowers to welcome back.
Aww.
Now, what was he doing? Where'd he go?
He was with the Maharishi or something. Yeah. I want to talk about, speaking of Led Zeppelin, in 1966, Donovan went to number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with Sunshine Superman. It's a great song. Number 2 hit in the UK. The track featured then Yardbird and future Led Zeppelin guitarist James Patrick Page. The song was written for Donovan's future wife, Linda Lawrence.
That's a great song, by the way.
That is. You know what? I like him when we were talking about songwriting on the last podcast. Like, he's another guy. Study him. You study Donovan.
Absolutely.
You're gonna learn something about. You're gonna learn something about songwriting. This day in 1970, Alan Wilson, guitarist and songwriter with Canned Heat, was found dead. He was dead. He real dead.
Oh, he did.
By fellow band members Bob Heights Garden at Topanga Canyon, Los Angeles, age 27. Bummer, eh? Hey, bummer, eh? Man, you dead.
On this exact same day in this exact same year, Arthur Brown was arrested at the Palermo Pop Festival in Italy after he set fire to his helmet during the performance of his hit Fire and stripped naked on stage during his performance. He spent 4 days in solitary confinement before he was released.
That's a little strict.
Just a
Oh,
little.
Italy, man. They're tough, huh?
Yeah, that's a great tune, too. Fire.
Fire. Oh, my God. All-Star Jam Session took place on this day in 1975. Los Angeles actor Peter Sellers' 50th birthday lineup for a group who named themselves the Trading Faces. Bill Wyman, Ron Wood, Jesse Ed Davis, Danny Korchmar, Keith Moon, Joe Cocker, Nigel Olson, and David Bowie and Bobby Keys. That is a supergroup.
Yeah.
Now, why didn't those guys ever do a record?
Right?
I would have bought that record.
I know.
Oh, my goodness.
Too good to be true, I guess.
I know. Why don't you talk about the King?
Okay, 1977, a month after his death, Elvis Presley had 27 albums and 9 signals. You shouldn't give me whiskey. 9 singles in the top 100 charts in the UK. Moody Blue was the #1 album, while Way Down was #1 on the singles chart, putting him equal with the Beatles, each amassing 17 #1 hits.
He's even after he's dead, he's still the king.
I mean, I'm
He's the
telling
king.
you.
I'm telling you, man.
You want to get your sales up, just
die.
Just kick the bucket. Just die.
The 3-day US Festival in 1982 in San Bernardino took place, featuring Tom Petty, Fleetwood Mac, The Police, The Cars, Talking Heads, The Kinks, The Ramones, B.B.B., Gang of Four, Grateful Dead, Pat Boone, James Brown. Apple Computers founder Steve Wozniak bankrolled the festival. You know, I heard that Van Halen played that and they got paid $1 million. I don't know if that's true or not. Did you ever hear that? Yeah.
I think so.
That they were that was like the highest paid festival act up to that point ever.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I gotta say, Fleetwood Mac's performance from the US Festival is some of my favorite vintage Fleetwood Mac footage. Mainly just because, everybody's so coked up.
The Loudini Rock and Roll Circus does not condone the consumption of illegal substances.
But Fleetwood Mac does.
Why don't you tell us about Ike?
About Ike. In 1991, Ike Turner was released from prison, having served 18 months of a 4-year prison term. Ike had been arrested 10 other times.
Just 10?
In an interview with Variety, he claimed to have spent over $11 million on cocaine. If you guys are interested at all in Ike Turner, he was obviously a jagoff. There's a really cool interview with him from the late 80s from Spin Magazine. I can't remember who wrote the article, but if you just Google Ike Turner Spin Magazine interview, it's pretty fascinating. It's quite a good read.
On a much more lowbrow note, I highly recommend it any of the times that Ike called into the Howard Stern show. Because that's radio gold. That's just amazing. You know,
we need some callers.
Is it true that you beat Tina Turner with a boot? No matter what Ike would try to say, it was. They would have a lot of fun on there. But 2002, the Rolling Stones' 40th anniversary Licks tour kicked off at the Fleet Center, Boston. Tickets for the best seats cost $224. I understand that Madonna tickets and stuff like that are like $500. Is that true?
It's absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. I don't care how much I love a band. I'm not forking over that kind of money, even if I had it.
On this day, 2005, blues musician Fats Domino was rescued from New Orleans shortly after Hurricane Katrina hit the city. The 77-year-old singer had been reportedly missing since the storm, which had been flooding the city for several days, leaving thousands feared dead. They thought he was going to die, but they found him. He crapped back up. We found old Fats Domino there. Sir Cliff Richard stunned the music industry by ending his contract with EMI Records and signing with Eminem's label, Universal Music. Cliff had sold over 250 million records with EMI during his 46-year career. That happened in 2004. What do you want to talk about?
Let's take a look here. In 2000 and... Where did it go? This is interesting. In 2006, hundreds of Paris Hilton albums, I didn't even know she had an album, were tampered with in record stores in Bristol, Brighton, Birmingham, Newcastle, Glasgow, and London in the latest stunt by guerrilla artist Banksy. Banksy had replaced Hilton's CD with his own remixes and gave them titles such as Why Am I Famous? What Have I Done? And What Am I For?
Oh, my.
He also changed pictures of her on the CD sleeve to show the U.S. socialite topless and with a dog's head.
Wow, man. See,
Have
I
you
want to
ever-
get Banksy to, attack my record. Like, that would be awesome.
I'm serious, man. I mean, Banksy's done some very interesting things. I've read about Banksy from time to time. But, I mean, it's funny. Every couple years you have somebody who you just, like your Paris Hilton or your Kim Kardashian. It's like, what are you famous for other than, getting banged on camera?
I'm famous because I'm famous.
Yeah, famous.
Somebody said I should be famous.
Exactly.
But oh my, yeah. We're gonna do a few birthdays here before we get out of here because we should always wish these great legends in rock and roll. But it's this guy's birthday today. No, it's not Eric Clapton.
Well, I'm so down. I'm almost level with the
The great blues guitarist, singer-songwriter Freddie King. Happy birthday to Freddie the King.
I gotta ask you, Lou, who's your favorite king out of the three kings of blues? BB, Freddie, or Albert?
Say Freddie. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting there's a microphone I have to talk to. Boy, that's really tough. I like Freddie King a lot because I like his sort of like in that right
Yeah.
there. That tickles my music bone.
I agree.
But I love BB King too. I loved how BB King could play like one note, and that's all he really needed to play.
Right. I know.
He could just like wah, and you'd be like, oh my gosh, that was brilliant.
I know. I mean, it's kind of hard to pick. They're all incredible, but
Yeah.
I do have a soft spot for Freddie.
Have you ever seen the Albert King television appearance with him and Stevie Ray Vaughan just sitting jamming together?
Yes.
That's very cool.
Yes.
That's some cool stuff.
I actually have a vinyl bootleg of that. It's quite good.
Al, do you know who Al Jardine is?
Al Jardine.
Al Jardine is the guitar player who's playing this right here. No, it's not Johnny B. Good.
Yeah, it's not Chuck Berry.
Well, she got her daddy's car and she cruised.
Al Jardine, lead guitar player, or one of the lead guitar players for the Beach Boys.
That's right.
A happy birthday to Al Jardine on this day. Oh, what do you want to talk about? You like any of these people?
Let's see. 1945, born on this day, George Biondo of Steppenwolf.
Did you say Steppenwolf? You didn't say Steppenwolf, did you? You didn't say Steppenwolf, did you?
I said Steppenwolf.
Get your motor running.
Kevin and I talked about this. I don't know if you and I have, but you need to watch the movie Easy Rider. It's one of the great
I love that movie.
rock soundtracks of all time. But this song is in it, and this is really the first time the term heavy metal is used. Sort of like somewhere, and
Yeah.
well, the rest is, they say, is history, right?
The soundtrack to Easy Rider, isn't that the one that features there's a band from the 60s called Smith. They did a version of The Weight. And I believe it was put on that soundtrack. I guess they couldn't afford the licensing for the original band version. So they used Smith's version, which paled in comparison to Smith's big hit, Baby It's You.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Gail McCormick, great female vocalist, passed away this past year. R.I.P. Gail, I love you.
You want to tell them about this?
Oh, hell yeah. 1947, Eric Bell, the guitarist for Thin Lizzy, one of my favorites.
All right, and this is, here we are right here. Let's speak into that. That's a great intro, huh? I love that. All right, and we have a birthday here for these guys too. In fact, I believe it's this drummer. Yep. Donald Brewer, drummer for Grand Funk Railroad. They weren't really a funk band.
No.
But still, classic stuff.
Oh, yeah. Maggie, Grand Funk Railroad is Daddy's favorite band.
What's that from?
The Simpsons.
Oh. All right, one more. Let's just do one more. Steve Jones, guitarist of Sex Pistols. Happy birthday, buddy. We might have to do another shot now. So, Katie, tell the kids at home. I'll tell you what, before we tell the kids at home anything, let's go ahead and play. I think we've got one more. I think we're missing a lead. Oh, well, we got to play our girl. Do you know? I asked you before. You don't. And you said you haven't met Rachel. I've seen Rachel perform a few times. Mm-hmm. She's a great front person. She's got some very cool songs. They've got a great band. The band has like a whole look and everything. Very cool. But this is Rachel B. From Pittsburgh. You can go to Rachel B. Music. And this is a really fun track. She has this very cool EP out that's been floating around. You guys want to check out? It's called "I'm Still the Boss." She's very sassy. You know, she's got this whole sassy thing going. But this is a cool track. It's kind of R&B-ish. "Shame on Me," Rachel B. on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
You said I could count on your love, and so I wait up. Yes, I wait up. Shame on me. I told myself I would stop calling, but I want you. Yes, I want you. Shame on me. Ooh, 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 ooh. Shame on me. Ooh, 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 ooh. Used to treat me so sweetly, but lately I'm crying. Yes, I'm crying. Shame on me. Every time that you kiss me, it feels like you're lying. Are you lying? Shame on you. For playing me like a fool. Shame on me. For letting you. Oh, baby. Shame on me. You walk in like a criminal, head hung low. It ain't right. No, it ain't right. Shame on you. I smell perfume all up on you, and it ain't mine. No, it ain't mine. Shame on you. For playing me like a fool. Shame on me. For letting you. Oh, baby, shame on me. Did you think that you'd never pay for your sins? I'm coming for you to get my sweet revenge. Don't think that you can ever do this again. I'm coming, yes, I'm coming for you. For playing me like a fool. Shame on me. For letting you. Shame on you. For playing me like a fool. Shame on me. For letting you. Oh, baby. Shame on me.
All right, that is Rachel B. And I've seen her play a few times. Probably the best looking band in Pittsburgh. I mean, like they're all like very Very good-looking people. RachelBmusic.com. And I had the pleasure of being, for a short period of time, in a band with her guitar player. He was actually playing bass in the band I was in. Mike Roth is a really great kid, and really, really good people. So if you want to check them out, that is RachelBmusic.com. We also, before that, we had Norwood. That's Norwood.band. And the almighty, the mighty, the We Are Not Worthy Because You Rock So Hard, Gene the freaking Werewolf. That is Gene the Werewolf at let me say that again. Gene, I haven't had enough liquor. That's the problem. GeneTheWerewolf.squarespace.com. We just absolutely love that band. Katie, why don't you tell the kids at home everything that you've got going? Give them the good word. What's the good word on Katie Simone this week?
Oh, the good word?
The good word.
Oh, word?
Word. Yo, word.
Tell me what's the word? A word up. What's today? September 3rd. I don't really have anything going on.
What?
For the next...
You're
I told
fired.
you. My gig schedule is extremely light this month.
That means more people need to hire me and Katie.
I know, yeah, man. I am a self-professed musical prostitute. I will sing any genre as long as the dollar amount is right. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding at all. What do I have? I have a show at the Hard Rock coming up on September 17th. My 80s band. It's going to be a party. If you want to buy tickets, you can hit me up. My email address is katiesimonevocalist@gmail.com. I can sell you the tickets through PayPal. I'm really reaching right now. But yeah, that's the most exciting thing that's going on in September for me.
That's all right.
And I might give the money to, the venue.
The other guys. I might give money to the other guys in the band,
I might not. I mean, I might need to buy some new shoes.
A lady always needs new shoes, right?
Especially we're getting into the colder months. I can only wear these $15 Target sandals for so long.
Well, you'll have that. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, guys, you've been listening to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Please visit the website and go ahead and just pop your little name and email address in there, because we send out all kind of extra goodies for those of you that do that. And so you definitely want to do that. That's LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. I'd like to thank our sponsor one more time, Positively Pittsburgh Live Magazine, PPLmag.com. I would love to also, I should thank the website This Day in Music, that we unabashedly borrow from each podcast.
What is this? Hold on. Let me scroll up.
Something has caught Katie's attention.
Okay. Can we do a little shout out to this dude?
This guy right here?
Yeah, in 2004, songwriter and producer Billy Davis died in New York after a long illness. He wrote songs for Jackie Wilson, but he wrote the jingle, I'd Like to Buy the World a Coke.
Oh, Lord, my God. that is a great... I love that. I love that.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, and I don't know if we have any Mad Men fans in the listening audience, but the last episode of Mad Men totally screwed me up for a week and a half, and it was because of that freaking that song. That dude, Coca-Cola, like, if you're an advertising nerd, like they kill it every single time. Like, they are the creme de la creme. There's my boy Don Draper.
So I'm gonna have to skip this ad in 3 seconds here, but we're gonna go ahead and give you guys a little taste of this, of what.
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honeybees.
This was a total phenomenon.
I'd like to teach the world to sing. Sing with me. Perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. I'd like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. That's the real thing. I'd like to teach the world to sing. In perfect harmony. Perfectly. And I'd like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. It's the real thing. What the world wants today. It's the real thing.
Okay, so thank you, Katie, for pointing that out, because that is
You're very welcome.
That's one of those great, iconic pieces of
Jingles.
music. Yes, I mean we should do a. In fact, maybe we should plan a podcast where we do a salute to the great jingles.
I would love that.
That would be a lot of fun. So
I'd
maybe
absolutely love that.
so we'll get our Facebook friends participating on that, and we'll get all their opinions, and we'll do a fun special edition podcast on that. On that happy note, I'd just like to say, guys, thanks so much for listening. Katie and I have another shot of whiskey to do, so we can't hang out too long. LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. If you like the bands that we're featuring here, help us keep this thing going. Go to supportindierock.com and get involved in everything that we have going on. And that is pretty much it. KatieSimoneMusic.com is the website for everything Katie Simone. Anyway, so guys, thanks so much for listening and checking it out. LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com, and we will catch you guys on the next edition of the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
Like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I like to teach the world to sing with me.